Hello, and welcome to DC30 and our Mythic Odyssey of Theros. D&D with an ancient Greek twist. I am your Dungeon Master, Romeo, and I am joined this evening by Tamara with her sparkly glowy earrings, Morse, Ali, and Alex, or as y'all used to know him, if anyone's stuck with us this long, Jason the Centaur.
Hi.
Joining us for a few sessions or so. We'll play it.
Bring on those mountains. Please don't. There's no more mountains, please.
We come back to you now. Just a quick heads up ahead of time. We shan't be joined by a Violet or Viola this evening due to IRL stuff. But we hopefully will have them back for next session, and especially Violet. I know she was kicking herself for missing tonight's session, but family commitments and whatnot. That aside, I have factory reset my PC, and I've noticed more than one issue that was also stuff I'd kind of just gotten used to, like the search directory being absolute ass on my end was actually been fixed. I can actually look for individual assets and files now. So maybe other stuff has been fixed as well. Maybe the stream will run a little smoother. We shall seeth. But that aside, I'm ready to kick things off if y'all are.
Oh, yeah.
Then let's kick things off with tonight's episode of our Mythic Odysseys of Theros. And we are back now. So let me just double check something. I'm going to just quickly repaste Alex's Video Ninja link just in case, because it's still using the system where if you drop in and out, it won't work. Okay, cool. So now that'll definitely work. All right. And that is where we come back to you now at the turn of the tide. So, last we left off, Tempest, after venturing to the Scholar Vale, slaying Praxiteles, the Druid Lich, a feat which earned Amalia, Moros, the Black Warden's regalia, the final piece of divinity. You returned to Meletis, and final preparations were made, in terms of battle plans drawn, and everything was mustered for the fight ahead. We concluded the session within one fell swoop. Soldiers, mothers, fathers, brothers, daughters, armoring and arming up, saying their goodbyes, and in a long caravan, marching forth from Meletis to begin the 3-day journey north to Akros. So, Tempest, you are marching in the more forward parts of the caravan, let's say. You don't necessarily have to be like at the front of everybody else, but you can be if you want. You can sit in carriages if you wish, or walk, or just be astride horses casually walking. Does anyone wish to do anything in this time?
Yes, I have instructions from Viola. She wants to send ascending to a good old pal Daxos.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I already wrote this out so I can, not go over the word count. So at some point, Hilera just goes, "Oh, I wanted to message Daxos. Yeah, right. Okay. How are you? Marching to Akros. We'll arrive in 3 days. We'll message you again the day before we arrive. Get ready to fight."
There's a response almost immediately. "Oh, I'm great. I'll probably meet you a day out from Akros. You'll hear me before you see me." That's it.
So Daxos says hi. He's doing great. And he said he'll meet us like a day before we get to Akros, and that we'll hear him before we see him. Maybe that has something to do with the surprise that he's been preparing.
He has got a deep voice.
Defili pipes in and says, "A day out from Akros? Okay. Cool.
Are you gonna?
Does she has an idea what's going on?
Shut your mouth, Vela." He just hair toss and then just like walks ahead, just like completely like trying to put you guys out of her line of sight.
I've probably spent most of the march probably marching alongside the Daughters of Nelia with Galatea, but I do kind of like back and forth.
Okay. So, in that case, it happens to you first, Kotinos, because you're marching with the Daughters of Nelia. So they're marching behind someone you've met before, Phaedra. She's one of the, basically, leaders of Sithessa, and she is a little bit in Molpadia in many ways, but basically she carries a short bow. She seems more like a roguish renegade in terms of, like, rapid-fire movements, in terms of the way you've seen her weapons wielded. A scout, in that sense. She is leading the bunch, and after stopping for lunch on the first day and you returning to interact with Tempest, and you flit back and forth, Phaedra comes up to you. I mentioned you in passing, and
What did Galatea say about me?
Galatea didn't say anything.
Oh, thank God.
I'll just let him explain it. And you feel like something nudge you slightly in the back. It feels bigger than you. Like, literally nudges your whole back slightly.
Minotaur size? Or...
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of, like, try and crack my head around and up. And give up and turn around.
And you see a tall centaur in heavy splint armor. Much grayer hair than when you saw him last. Upon his left arm, a enormous gauntlet made of a single oaken branch with separate segments that go over his fingers. Leaves and vines twirl throughout. But the same kind, wizened face that you've missed so terribly. Alex, if you would like to describe what they see.
Yeah, so adding to that, the body that you would have remembered from Jason was that of someone very well trained and versed in combat, very kind of ripped athleticism, whereas now the physique is a little more strongman size, like practical lifting, as opposed to instead of 0% body fat, it's like a nice solid 15 to 20. The hair is definitely wise and greyed. The braids that you once remembered being kind of like dreaded all the way back have a kind of knotted mattedness to them, but they seem way more open and flowing than they did before. He just looks down at you, and like a smile creeps under his beard. and you just hear him just go, well.
Question, sorry to super interrupt. Can everyone hear the ambience?
Nope.
No.
Okay, must not be working this time around, so no ambient tracks this time around. I'm still... Forgot to set that up. Sorry, continue.
Yeah.
My wry smile just turns into folded arms and goes, "You took your time."
He kind of looks at you and goes, "You're," and actually talks to you in what language? Silver. There we go.
Yes.
He talks to you in Silver, and you just hear him go, "You're paler than I remember, but what I remember, that's probably a good thing for you."
We've certainly had our fair journeys. What, and he kind of half goes into a sense, then kind of just goes in for an embrace.
Yeah, like the embrace is immediately reciprocated.
What's up? What? I mean, I was gonna say what brings you here. That, obviously, but yeah, man, we've missed you.
And are you? There's not many days that pass that I don't think about my adventures with the crazy buffoons I met on a ship.
Oh yeah, that was We did a lot of. We haven't been on the boat since. I think we might have had our fair fill that time, fortunately.
I can imagine the trauma that comes with it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, fair amount. We've checked in on you a couple of times, just, as we do. We came across an artifact of Clothis that allowed us to kind of peek into people, not in a weird way. I mean, also it's me, it's really weird regardless. But yeah, I'm surprised you seemed at peace with where you're at. You seemed you seemed chill, like kind of at peace. And now you're with us. Why? What possessed you to come back?
At peace is probably the best way to describe it. When I left you all, I had found a serenity which I hadn't had before, and leaving when I did was the right thing to do. It allowed me to experience things outside of my usual way of living. Such battles and fights have the ability to take their toll. And I was, as you describe, at peace. I managed to meet new people. I met a wonderful woman and was able to live again. And he kind of looks to you and kind of like takes a moment, looks at you, and then you kind of hear him say, I myself am not sure of what our potential child could be. She seems to be keeping that secret. But whatever it is, if he turns out anything like you, or she, could be fun. And he kind of just starts like walking, like almost like walking into a direction where he assumes you were going, but it's like that kind of like dad gesturing, like, come on, let's walk and talk kind of thing. And I imagine I will probably acknowledge all the other Nillians who were around him being just like, again, just a knowing nod, or whatever kind of sense we need.
You've had your fair share of adventures amongst the people of Sethesa and the people and in the Nessian Wood. So at this point, you're known enough that you have your own agency and fee that it says, by all means.
Yeah, well versed. He kind of looks and just says, as to why I'm here, well, let's just say when the call for arms is rang, sometimes those that have a history for war, it is best to take your first steps, and you kind of see the two front hoofs just clop clop. Best steps forward.
Whatever the reason, more importantly, you've got something to go back to as well. So no more getting captured by eagles or anything like that, right? Like, you know, you're on my watch now. Like, we're gonna benefit immeasurably from your guidance, but yeah, watch your six, we'll watch yours, and his face kind of he's kind of like since seeing your face, he's kind of just had that kind of wry grin this whole time. It kind of just softens a little bit and just goes, "This is one I anticipate not everyone coming back from. So if I had to pick and choose, you know, in the top list of ones to get with something to come back to. So don't do anything silly. I know that's what we do all the time, like all the time. I can't think of a single thing we haven't done that isn't. We fought a dragon. We stole something from the queen of all Gorgons. We've done loads of dumb stuff, but this feels more serious, and I'm not good with serious. So yeah, we'll benefit from your guidance. But
as you kind of saying all of this, he's kind of nodding and acknowledging each part, and he just goes, "War has that effect on people. It seems where I vouched for living a new life of peace, you continued adventure. Yet the irony is we are still now in the same place. There are ways in which the world will always fold, and in doing so, the right people will always step forward." And they kind of, again, shoulder. This one's a little bit more like a two hands on the shoulder kind of semi. What's what I'm looking for? Kind of like reassuring, like massage. Kind of so many boxes get the coaches to like do stuff. And he just looks at you and he just goes, "You have always been one to have tricks up your sleeve. Don't do anything stupid, and neither will I." And then he kind of like leans down a little bit and whispers and says, "However, if stupidity calls for it, for the better good, let's enjoy the moments while we can." And there's just a big tap on the back. He seems to be way more at peace with everything.
Yeah. And yeah, like he just kind of just smiles and nods, and then just up and goes, "Oh mate, no, you gotta look. Come on, meet the rest of the gang. We're about two carriages back. We found some other peculiar ones to join us in our travels. I think you'll be impressed. Amalia looks like an absolute tank now. She's kitted out. You'll be impressed with our little kitty friend. And I lead Jason back to where the rest of Tempest are. So I picked this one up.
Amalia literally just says, "Jason!" and she runs at you. Now,
I'm trying to dive out of the way.
so she's
brace myself.
She's gonna jump up and hug you like a kitty cat. Problem is, Amalia was a bit of a like hulking dreadnought before with her plate armor.
Yeah.
You see that she's now kitted out in what looks like the love child between like Chaos Space Marine armor and like the Destroyer from Thor 1.
Okay.
Just like this, she looks like she would sink a ship by stepping on it. This is like how thick and like jagged and hulking this armor is, and like all like 350 pounds of armored juggernaut, like full on jump and hugs.
In that immediate reaction of when a parent sees a child with like a helmet on, like just gunning straight towards them, you're like, cool, affection, great, love that. Also, this could end really badly for me if I don't brace. So like Jason immediately goes into like defensive position to embrace. Here we go, first roll, let's go. Oh god, I hope this is good. 22, not bad.
You hold your ground. Like, don't get me wrong, your hooves like go back like maybe half a foot, but you're no slouch.
Yeah.
And you hold it, and you hold her, and you hug her.
Yeah, there'll be like once the initial impact has happened, the embrace is a very strong one of just like a reassuring parent after seeing the child for a while. Just like good to see them healthy, happy, and seemingly in good form.
She's elated. She's like, I have so much to tell you. I missed you. Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I look forward to hearing all of your tales. And I kind of, I don't want to say like I lift her like I hold her like a baby, but it's that thing of like once the embrace kind of ends, it's that thing of like doing the look over and the twirl and seeing how far she's come.
Do you like my cool armor?
Yeah, just seeing how far she's come. Yeah, 100%. Just being like, that you are definitely a far shy away from the kitten I once sparred with many moons ago. You're looking well. You're looking good. You're looking strong, and like it's like the tapping of the arms and like feeling the guns and just being like, yeah.
Thank you. It eats the souls of my enemies.
That's wonderful, Emilio. Like really, I'm very happy for you. Like he takes a moment of just being like, it's like there's a moment where he kind of stares and just like acknowledges what she said.
Yeah.
Kind of like I think actually with that I would probably look to Skitinos and just be like, as like she said soul. She said eats the souls. Yeah.
There's a lot we've been up to, and yeah, apparently so. I mean, we've not seen it yet, but apparently yeah. What better for a walking champion of Erebos, I suppose.
Yeah, kind of looks and just goes, well, I do not envy whoever is on the end of your ferocious attacks.
As that kind of comes to a conclusion, I kind of look over, and at this point, I kind of suddenly realise, beyond myself and Amalia, how few people Jason may have necessarily met from the old way, the old days, the good old days. And I kind of just look over and just go, tomorrow, watch. This is
tomorrow.
Not tomorrow.
There's a Militian hoplite female in like holding a blue spear, and she was like, "Sorry, I was just standing here. I'm not part of this. But yes, I'm Tamara. Nice to meet you. I'll stand with my platoon. Bye."
I just go. This is one of the first of the one of the original from Tempest that somehow decided to swim underwater with us way back when we were dealing with the issues for Thassa. This is and he kind of brings everyone abroad. So yeah, this is Hilira, this is Xanthia, and this is Barkios or Botch.
There is a acknowledgement and like a nod to everyone. And just kind of like hand on plate bow. It's a very kind of like respectful one for you guys. That it seems to be two things. It seems to be someone from like fights and wars and stuff, just kind of like a respect of the acknowledgement of whatever it is we're stepping into. We're all kind of stepping into it together. But then also you get the undertone of it being like a very thankful presence and thankful being for effectively keeping the other two alive.
I think Hilera will walk up to you and be like, "Oh, it is so cool to meet you! I heard so much about you. You know, Scotty and Amalia, they're such big fans. And when we built our fort, I've also made like a statue of you to kind of honor what you did with the group. And oh, you should definitely come visit sometime. I think you'll like it. I think it's so cool to meet you."
And you, and like the energy that you're giving is like he's receptive of it, but he's also like trying to match, but him being like, "And it's lovely to meet you." That's him matching it in his eyes.
Just FYI as well, Helida barely comes up to your to where you your breastplate.
Like the first one. Okay. Oh wow, you're tiny. Yeah. It would be like an immediate look down of just, oh yes, lovely to meet you too, dear.
And yeah, after that, Xanthia comes up to me. She's a Triton, and she's like, "You swimming? I would love to hear that story."
It was a trial for sure. And actually with that, he kind of looks to Scatino, Cisco, and Animalia, and then he kind of places a hand, and this is more for flavor text than anything. You can kind of see that there is a element of arcane to him that you have absolutely not seen him do before. But there's it's almost as if you can kind of see what is it that Triton speak? Is it primordial?
Primordial.
Yeah, you kind of see like a few primordial runes just like appear and disappear of just like very small amounts.
Ooh.
And he just looks and goes, yes, since then I have done my best to try and avoid what happened before. And as you're saying that, you see him like playing back the events in his head, and like each sentence is like, ooh, there was that. Ooh, there was that. There's like a
in like the second Kung Fu Power movie, it's like, Poe, the day you became the Dragon Warrior was the worst day of my life.
It's very that. But he kind of just listens, and actually with that as well, looks to Malia and Scotinos and just goes, if we do make it out of this and we part ways, I will make sure to tell our beloved Triton friend that you also say hello.
Sure. We sometimes still see Ezelyn. She works mostly down at the Dr. Melati's. She kind of manages a lot of the shipping and tried to become kind of like our fan, almost like I think was trying to make like kind of like a merchant, like a
merchandise
land for Tempest. I have no idea how that went actually.
You would remember she said it sold really well.
Oh, you mean this? like a t-shirt one.
Oh, hey, Jason. So you remember those like metal pieces that we found inside like the Shark Queen's big crab lance thing?
After we destroyed her, yes, I remember.
Yes.
Well.
Yeah.
So we found other pieces, and then Daxos used them to make that. And you watch as... So for context as well, Xanthia, like, you mistook her for a construct for a second, because yes, she is a Triton upon further inspection, but she has a thin sheen of bronze metal coating her whole body that makes her look like a living bronze statue. You surmise this to be some form of armor, and she's holding... It's a trident, but it's made of like a brassy, sheeny bronze that has both metallic aqueous blue patterns on it and metallic fiery orange patterns that sort of interlace and marry fire and water that go throughout.
I would say Jason looks on, is it Xanthia? Xanthia? Kind of looks upon Xanthia with this wonder and amazement, but also like with the resemblance of a kind of ferocious Triton female warrior, and just kind of smiles and goes, I assume that you are the most sound of mind in this party. And as he says it, he looks and he's like doing like a head count of the ones around, and just like
Scorpinus is just on and just going,
yeah.
Especially since Bithynia, she was the very smart one, left us a few days ago. Yeah, that's been kind of cool with me. You also seem responsible, though. I'm very glad to have you here.
And are you? And he kind of puts an arm out to shake of like a mutual respect of parental figuring.
Nice.
Yeah, this is Botch.
Yeah, it looks a botch. Let's go. Let's do this.
Do what? I mean, is there some form of centaur type of social interaction I need to do, or what?
So between Botch and Jason, size-wise and size-wise, so between height and then also musculature and stuff, how close are we talking here?
I'd say it's neck and neck. So Botch is big boy, like basically picture Kratos.
Yeah.
Just normal human skin color and no tattoos. Case in point is artwork. Botch is certainly hench. And he's also a substantially tall boy. It's literally just being a centaur that sort of makes you eke it out. So
I've got more mass in the back.
no, as in, so you're still taller than him just by virtue of
Yeah.
bloody horse legs, but I'd say you're at most a foot and a half taller than him. It's like you're not tall enough that it's impressive because you're a centaur. It's like sort of like anyone looks like, oh yeah, what's a centaur?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
So is Botch?
So Botch is large.
Is he human, Asimite, any kind of other thing, or is he like very distinctively like a human?
Looks human.
Sweet.
All to
With
the
that, yeah, with that and kind of just like his feet, like you will see the immediate acknowledgement of physical strength, empowering strength, and effectively like will defend the party with every fiber of his strength left, and it's the beginning of the Arnie arm shake where he
Both of
just
you
needs,
roll.
like,
Okay, this is not contested. This is like cooperative. Both of you roll athletics checks.
okay,
Just good.
there you go. Oh, that was so close to being a 20. 24.
29.
Nice.
There's a slight,
Way back.
there is a slight vibration in the ground as like, okay, this goes beyond okay, this might be an obscure reference. This goes beyond Arnie and Dutch and goes into Gary and Avocado from Final Space levels of like, comically over.
The strength.
Yes.
Muscles. Yeah.
You guys grow muscles you didn't have before, and it's just like everyone's like at the broness.
Yeah, he kind of just looks with this imposing strength, and kind of the two of them having this bro moment, and just you almost see like a flash in Jason's eyes of way back when he was a younger centaur, and he just looks to you and just goes, "This goes without saying. I very much look forward to fighting beside you."
I suppose this goes very much without saying, but fuck yeah. Question.
Sorry, go ahead.
Are you planning on transforming me into some form of furry animal in the future?
I had no intention to. I don't even know how that's possible.
So you and I are going to go on just fine.
Oh my god, you both even have really weirdly specific traumas.
You do, yeah. Yes.
I mean, the amount of patience I've had to exert to not kill everyone in this party several times through their shenanigans is quite good. So
Killed me
you try to put a leash on me.
to keep you safe.
Bitch, I ain't no slave.
Oh, the moment you say that, Jason is just like, "Yep, no, I can understand that." Yep.
And I'll say as well,
You
just to,
stole my belt.
Still haven't apologized.
You stole my belt. After I gave you that glowing armor skin.
Drinks time, I think. Yeah.
Anyway, so you can see that we're one big happy family.
yeah.
Welcome back, Jason.
Just to complete the description as well, you taking a look at Buck, he also Botch, this seems to go by. You see he's wearing thick hides that on one section has a like head of a lion, and on the other has like these curled horns of a goat that are coupled with these draconic horns. You notice there's basically a chimera hide that he's sort of fashioned into hide armor. that's had a bit of a glow up just for character art reasons, but you know he took it to get steamed, but very much more. The I'm trying to think. I think the only arcane, like you're very human. The only magical thing you see about him is there's these glowing threads that wrap around his forearms that connect to these twin short swords on his back that seem to be made out of like a pale goldy brassy kind. They're Zephoses, so they're like pointed swords. They look very precise, very deadly, tapered so that they're wide at the base and come to a very fine point. And they have these cross guards that almost resemble thread spools. Roll a religion check.
Ooh. I haven't had to do one of those in ever.
Not a terribly high DC, although given your intelligence score.
15.
Enough? They're very evocative of imagery that you would associate with Colossus, the goddess of destiny.
Nice. It's it's the Robert De Niro not bad face, but
Yeah.
just like
It's so good. That's such a good analogy.
We have all certainly kitted ourselves out since you've been gone. As I do, I kind of like from strap to my back, I bring out the glaive of Xanagos, which you might have briefly spotted because you did. Joyce ever briefly go to the I forget her name, but the lady that
Elspeth.
Elsbeth, in that big tower in Melody.
I believe Jason... Was it Jason or Keanu that met Elspeth? I think it was Jason. I want to say Jason.
was this the one where we had to climb?
Oh,
Well, like had to climb up the side of the tower basically, because that would have been Jason, because we had the.
That would have been Jason, yes. So Jason, you have met Elspeth, but you never saw Gelio. She never took it out until she gave it to... however, I'm going to say you don't even have to roll for it. You have seen this glaive in murals before, wielded by a satyr in history about 30 years ago who deemed himself worthy of godhood and briefly ascended to God of Revels, a wicked sort of deity of excess before he was slain and banished out of existence by Elspeth, the Plain Walkers, a band of adventurers that were active about 30 years ago.
Wheels then just shows some of it. Shows it's not what you think. It's we're finding new purpose for things that were used for the wrong causes. And he kind of like slowly like spins the top of the glaive, which now has additional like filigree, satyr filigree, and now also sports 3 glowing motes of purple, cyan, azure, and red, orange.
Nice. Concept of changing the destiny of something that has a history is not unknown to me. So I trust it in your hands.
Well, you know what this means, guys. We just have to find another artifact to kid Jason up. You know, we can't all go into this without all wielding one of those. I've forgotten the name of what we called them.
Pieces of divinity.
Pieces of divinity. Yes, that's what we need.
But here's my counterpoint to that. If you just look at this hunk of masculinity right here, that bicep alone is a piece of divinity. So I think he's kitted out just enough.
I take a moment to acknowledge like the bromance that's starting to swoon here, like the bromance that failed to kindle between you and Lesros. I can see. Okay, this is what he.
It's because Lesros wasn't a bro.
That is...
Yeah, that is
He was the antithesis of bro. He took the bro code and put it in the bin. He didn't even read the bro code. It's the one book he didn't read.
Xanthia leans over to Scotty and just whispers, "Do you need to prep ceremony for tomorrow? So we can..."
I'm sorry to say, he's already taken.
Oh. Okay.
Speaking of, yeah, you got a dish, Jason.
On food?
No, you're the one you have waiting for you.
Her. Well, and then he'll probably go into a bit of a description, and the reason why I'm leaving this relatively blank is for particular reasons, but you get the concept of this individual being very much someone who Dyson had never intended to meet or never planned on meeting, but it was like the two just kind of happenstance cross path. There was a fun levity to her that kind of brought out his playful side a little bit more. She was always someone who was considered to be a little bit, lack of a better term, against the grain. Less people would have like hung out with her, but the kind of idea of him being relatively solitude himself, they kind of liked each other's company, and then with that, they were able to kind of make things work. It was something that neither of them had potentially planned, but it was just a nice little blossoming thing. And they've only been together not too long now, but the concept of a baby on the way doesn't sound like an accident. It definitely sounds unplanned. But the concept of the genderless child is something that Jason is like. You kind of get the feeling that he's living for each moment, regardless of what comes from it. So he's trying not to overthink too much now, and he's like, whatever comes out being.
I'll say out of character, if you want Alex, you do feel a thrum from your right forearm at the jovial talk they have about kitting you out.
Yeah, perfect.
If you want, you can show off.
Yeah, so with the concept of you guys talking about kidding Justin out, a kind of piece of divinity and everything that you have on you, he doesn't necessarily make a show or tell of it, but there's a moment when you're kind of showing off your skitinos, and you kind of see Jason just go, "You're not the only one who's been finding wondrous artifacts." And this kind of bracelet he has on his arm, which like described before, is just a big carved chunk of wood that kind of fits his forearm pretty much perfectly, in the sense that it's it doesn't make his arm any bulkier than the rest of him, but it definitely kits him out. I mean, Romeo, please feel free to tell me if I'm wrong, but the way that I'm kind of picturing it is not too dissimilar, or like a slightly slender version of how Hellboy's hand looks on him. Obviously not as big and bulky, but it's definitely like a noticeable chunk of something in addition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that he. We're out in the open, aren't we? Like, pretty much out in the open.
Yeah, but you're like marching to war. If like, this is not this is not a place where like the public would get scandalized.
Yeah, I'm just because in my head I'm thinking a cool showcase would be to have like a little bit of like a javelin run up almost, and then from it a spear kind of like spikes and shoots straight out. But then before it like lands or hits anything, it disappears and like a new spear grows in the same place. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like he shows you the forearm, and then immediately you're kind of like, it's a piece of wood, like impressive. But then from it, a spear forms.
Like in real time, almost like watching a time lapse. Like tendrils and branches shoot out, and he basically grows a spear in his hand, made out of carved wood.
Yeah. And then kind of turns like away from you guys and just shoots very obviously up into the air so as to not hit or harm anyone. But it's very much in the sense of, look how cool this thing is that I just have like spears on demand almost. And then turns back and he just goes, "There are other things that it can do too, but I would rather wait for a need. But this is primarily what I'm using it for. Lydia has blessed me well."
That's badass.
That is awesome.
Nice.
It does its job, and he kind of looks at it with a very kind of like there's a pride. There is a pride for it. He can't hide it.
I think probably throughout the rest of the day, it's probably just going through regaling various stories, including, basically everything we got, like, or how we got hold of each of the artifacts of divinity, who Bithynia, because did Jason ever meet Bithynia?
He never met Bithynia.
Yeah, I don't think so. No.
So just briefly who Bithynia was and, like, how she kind of helped, on that kind of chain as well, mentioning how one of the copies of the Plague from Under the Sea is now in the possession of a Naga in the Scholar Vale, which is fine. It's okay. It's good. It was the right thing to do.
As you're probably describing that, he's like his immediate reaction is just, okay, cool. Where do we go to get that back? That's because that's not good. But then,
yeah. All good. Yeah, it's fine. It was the original the guardian of that realm, and the reason we went over the Scholar Vale was dealing with some guy called Praxetes that was dealing with stuff like Grove Song and just like abstract, just like tidbits of all the kind of things that we've gone up to, not necessarily in a perfect, like, consistent order, because you just probably can't remember what order everything happened in, but what happened when we had how the debate all came to be with thanks to Bithynia, what happened there, how we accidentally burned down we burned down a building.
Scotty, roll a deception check.
Oh, God. 26. It was totally an accident. Like, it just happened. It's just those things. Things just escalated and all. I think at some
A
point,
deception check with more for the word burned down.
Acid melted down, I suppose.
Blew up.
It's kind of burn, acid burn. Just various tidbits of tales and what we've got up to, just to kind of bring you kind of up to speed. Oh yeah, we avenged Amalia's mother. We finally went over and found his father, who was doing this thing, and he lets Amalia tell that tale.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think probably the rest of the day is just catching up and just telling mad stories.
Yeah. Yeah, like he laps it all up. You kind of get the he looks with a wondrous eye, but it's not a case of disappointment of missing out. It's more a case of, like, when you hear people excited about something, like, it's like holidays that people have gone on, and you're like, oh, that would have been fun, but at the same time, I'm glad that you had I'm happier that you had a good time, kind of thing. And in this case, it's not a good time, it's just surviving.
Yeah, that's true.
Very well. Is there anything else you wish to do before day's end on the first day?
It's all good.
No.
Very well. Then I'll say the first evening comes to an easy close. There are no random encounters.
I'm a pretty random encounter.
Nonetheless, there are no random dangers when traveling this way. Some 40,000 troops. So you make camp, and you all enjoy a long night's rest. On the second day of travel, does anyone wish to do anything during the day? Any prep, anything to any effect?
Ooh, we'll roll the dice for the Nobius scroll.
I think Xanthia would approach Bacchus at some point. So, how are you feeling?
good. I just had a really nice big bloody haunch of meat for my breakfast, and my feet don't hurt too much yet, and I'm super excited to fucking kill everything. All those bastard returns. Rip a return mask from its very fucking face and hand it over to the Oracle later on, when we're ultimately victorious, and I don't immediately get killed upon entering Akros when I saw never to return. So, you know, pretty bloody good. How are you?
Yeah, can we just, like, focus in on the last bit here?
Is there like a smear of white powder under Botch's nostril?
Listen,
No, I'm kidding.
If there was
I'm kidding.
cocaine in Theros, I would have had all of it.
Be right back. Writing up a item card.
But yeah, with you coming back to Akros, like, confronting your past like that, you know, been there, done that,
Fine. Listen, I would have been scared a while back, but not. But after I found, you know, Clothy, and she sort of walked me through what her plan is, and seeing how you guys have, you know, walked with me through my various adventures with you guys, it's been okay. You know, I'm okay. I mean, worst case scenario is, right, we lose. And it doesn't matter because Akros is gone and the whole world is destroyed and we're all fucked anyway. So, listen, if I'm going down, the rest of you guys are coming with me. Could be worse. Or we win, and there's and then Akros decides to try and kill me. At which point, I know Clothis will intercede on my behalf, or I'll just kill everyone, and I die fighting. Or
I mean, you also have us. We're all more than willing to protect you.
what, you guys are willing to? No, you don't. I would never ask you to die for me. Listen.
You don't have to ask.
Oh, that's really cute. But no, don't make me cry. I can't cry in front of an army.
Okay, no crying.
No crying in front of an army. I mean, that was literally rule 1 on my father's. Actually, no, that's rule 2. Rule 1 was never disobey orders. Rule 2 was never cry. Otherwise, they beat the shit out of you. Guess
Are you
what?
guys having this combo out in the open?
Oh, well, I would be. I wouldn't be.
Just double checking.
I wouldn't be hiding it.
Yeah.
You feel a clap on your back and you see a hoplite walking by. One you've maybe spoken to a couple times, just randomly by coincidence throughout battles in your time with Tempest Botch. And he says, "This is the Militian army, my friend. Do as you like." He just walks off.
We're gonna be in Akros now. Oh, fuck, he's gone.
Good.
He's
So,
gone.
what he's trying to say is, this is a safe space. If you want to cry, because I know this is a very intense situation for you, we're here for you. If you don't want to cry, that's also fine.
I don't. Who wants to cry? Listen, I'm dehydrated enough most of the time as it is because of all the alcohol I drink. I can't be wasting any tears.
That's also a problem for after the fight, I think. For now, enjoy your wine. Let's make the most of this. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll check.
I was
You know,
waiting
like-
for it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Good talk.
See you in a bit.
Yep.
Yep. Good talk. Feelings.
Morsa can't hear you.
As you kind of walk past the Zantiak, I just remember going, nice try. But we're there for him. Whatever happens. So, that's the
Was that
Yeah.
your above Timber? Was this your method of trying to stage a last minute intervention?
I just wanted to see how you're doing.
Listen, it's all bad all the time. I'm just accepting it. It's fine.
Aww.
I will say as part of the second day. Especially, unless you were socializing, in which case it would wait till the evening. Jason, would you be socializing during lunchtime, or would you sort of have a private spot to sort of be contemplative?
To be honest, I think probably somehow both. Where like he will be socializing with people, but then sometimes he might veer off in contemplative thought, but kind of stay within.
Okay.
Kind of kind of the same way that like a dad at a park is kind of looking out for the kids and stuff, but then they might be thinking about something else in the background.
Yeah, as you're looking over them and watching Botch and Amalia bicker, whilst Xanthia tries to, like, pinches her brow. Emoji in chat. And you smile. You hear a voice next to you. They're like a disease, aren't they? They worm their way into your heart. And you turn and you see a familiar cascade of glowing blue hair on the frame of a slender, elegant, beautiful woman who you've met before. Defili.
When was the last time that Jason would have saw her?
Vashira.
So
Esland, isn't it?
yeah, she was the additional support that came to join us.
So that'd be a while ago. Yeah, he kind of keeps looking at the at like basically at New Tempest and kind of see how they're all acting with each other and stuff, and just kind of acknowledges her beside him and just goes, "This may sound somewhat cliche, but absence truly does make the heart grow fonder. And I don't think I realized quite how much I missed this until seeing them again. As happy as I am that they have become the warriors they have, I can't help but feel an element of sadness that this is where their destiny is taking them. I hope, obviously, for their safe returns, and that nothing happens to them." And he kind of looks down to his oak brace and just goes, "I will do what I can to keep them as safe as possible. I have to return too now. So I guess in many ways I need to keep myself accountable also." And he kind of looks to Skatinos particularly when he kind of thinks about this and just goes, "Some of the adventures that I've had with them in the past have been interesting, to say the least.
I was there for some of them.
And you know how, I don't want to say good at improvisation they are, because sometimes the improvisation is a little too crazy. But that craziness is
Enthusiastic, perhaps.
Enthusiasm. That's
enthusiastic at improvisation. Yes.
That's definitely the word. And he just goes, "It is remarkable thinking on all the adventures we have all been on. It has all led us to here, together, marching forward."
You don't have to tell me. I thought I was going to spend my life as a carefree renegade. Took what you wanted and damned the rest. And that was good, don't get me wrong. But, man, I definitely don't intend to fully stop. But, you don't have to tell me about don't have to tell me about having to keep a wider picture in mind for a change. Having to worry about something other than yourself. Having to make sure you come back. And I know all too well how much their unabashed sincerity and the hearts they wear on their sleeves and how much that rubs off on you. You don't have to tell me about that, right?
It really does.
Congratulations, by the way.
There's just like a nod, and he just goes, whatever my child ends up being, male or female, whatever it decides to be, I can't help but think of what wondrous adventures they might find themselves onto.
Sounds like you're gonna raise one hell of a kid.
Well, I hope so.
I hope they can be friends someday. She pats you on their shoulder and takes her leave.
He just kind of looks at everyone having a good time. I think in terms of the marching army and kind of important stuff, would there be any beasts or like animal creatures that are like either mules or kind of
plenty of beasts of burden. This is a
yeah
lot of oxen pulled carts or horse pulled carts, carriages full of armed armor supplies.
Yeah, and I think with that, like any kind of downtime that there maybe Jason will kind of basically just check in, and anyone with a high enough passive would see him effectively speaking to the creatures in conversation, or like whispering in their ear. But
None of you see this.
oh, okay.
The criteria was anyone with a high enough passive. I think.
It's far with no passive. Yeah, Hilira maybe.
50. Okay, Botch. I think yours is okay too, right, Botch?
Sorry, my passive perception is 16.
Oh, okay. Hilira and Botch are the only ones who see this.
Okay. Yeah, so you basically see Jason talking to the animals, but with that you would see the animals conversing with him in terms of like their body language and stuff. You'd see that their conversation is he's not a crazy old man just talking to the doves. There seems to in terms of that's what I meant by that. If you're passive enough, you'd see the reaction to it as opposed to this wise old man who seems really strong, just suddenly going, yes, how are you doing today, little ox friend?
I was picturing more like Simple Jack from Tropic Thunder.
Yeah. A great warrior, but then suddenly just like his alarm goes and he's just like, ooh, pretty cow.
Oh my god, that would be an amazing like character flaw,
yeah, it just dove way too much into the savior of the beast. It's like completely vegan.
And it's like that one thing. All right. And as you guys prepare to march again after breaking for lunch, we're gonna break ourselves. I think that's an appropriate moment. So it is 17 past the hour, so let's call it an even 13 and meet here at 8:30. Do what you need to do, freshen yourselves up, and we'll be back here very shortly. We are DC30. Now, and we're back. Let me just quickly listen back to myself on the VOD. One last quick sound check, everybody.
Hi.
Sound off, 1,
3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3.
4, 5, 6.
Bitchin'.
That's strong. That's all I got.
Morse, is your camera on?
It is.
Okay, I think it's just there's a slight delay because Ali just reappeared. Let me just... No, I definitely heard you, so I think it's just maybe taking a second.
I was temporarily camera off, just as...
No, that's fine. That shouldn't have... Like, it should come back when you do the thing. Let me just repaste your link just to err on the side of caution.
Ali, what are you drinking? That looks delicious.
That is an old-fashioned with maraschino cherry and cherry liqueur.
Okay, there we go. We got Morse back. And...
Just see bots do that.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a great moment when I was talking about the benefits of being in the wild and living it rough and being free, whilst also I was sipping red wine from a gigantic glass.
Oh yeah, I remember.
That was fabulous.
That was my random Fran Drescher impression that I did.
That was
for
great.
PC. Oh, you're so funny, Barkios. Ah.
Oh my god, I would have killed her.
Yeah.
Barkios would have killed that person.
Oh, Alex, you missed it. Last session, I invented these fruits that grow in the Skull of Ale, where the satyrs, where Scotty's from, which basically you drink the juices by piercing the top whilst you pierce the side, and then.
We like to drink with Scotty, because Scotty is our mate.
Yeah.
It's good times. Good times.
Oh my god, okay. I would never allow this at my table, but character concept, Satyr Barbarian who's a football hooligan.
So, yeah, say to that, but then say to bar, but it's just like drunken chants to kind of rally the crowd.
Perfect.
Barbarian.
Yeah,
Barbarian is a legit strat.
And we come back after our break. Welcome, welcome. And we pick up straight where we left off. You all pick up sticks after breaking down for the midday meal and continue to march on. And at this point, the rolling hills have given way to the first steps and alpine hinterlands of the Katakthon Mountains. You know it won't be long now. You will get there halfway through the day tomorrow. And sometimes this caravan now has to become narrower and traverse through the mountains, and you sense, feelings of peril somewhat, but they're quickly squashed when a rampaging cyclops bursts out and is greeted by a million arrows. It's just, what's that gif where it's like a meme, I can't remember what it's from, but this guy gets hit with like a comically oversized amount of arrows.
I think that's taken from the Mahabharata. Because perched upon
or American Gods
or 300.
Yeah.
No, like this one.
Plenty of references.
Yeah. But literally, like the Cyclops.
All of them happen now.
The Cyclops is laid low in seconds, and you all, Jason, you included, can't help but get a sense of perspective in how far you've come in terms of what may have been a perilous road before. It seems child's play now. It is when the sun only starts to get low. It's be around it's winter, around 5 p.m.-ish. That you hear you feel a deep rumble in the ground that begins to reverberate throughout the entire army. You hear various horns go off, but you sort of, Jason, with your passive, would it be insight or, no, what's everyone's passive perception? I think it's perception, yeah.
16.
16?
15 for Hilera and a whopping 11 for Xanthia.
Jason, what's your passive perception?
25.
Okay, Jason, through the vibrations in the ground, you localize exactly the origin of the rumbling. There's a sort of flatter mountain not far from where you are, as it is like the mountain next over.
Mm.
That's where the rumble, it's coming from that direction. But you would feel it too, although less so. You just know the general direction. You see the side of the mountain, the rocky face, split and scatter, and just completely get blown out as a billowing smoke begins to pour out from there. And then you just see this. Jason, with your perception, you surmise this thing to be gargantuan just based on the scale. Is this enormous metallic construct that almost looks like a gastropod. This, like, out of character, it almost looks like the front of a steam train, but it's, like, slightly flexible and segmented. It has these enormous back bronze wheels which grind into the ground, and it is propelling itself forward with these two giant golem-like mechanical armored forearms which basically drag it forward. It's elements of it out of character would be reminiscent of like that Titan in Attack on Titan that just can only walk on its belly because it's like too heavy, and it's like dragging its belly on the ground. But what catches you is the front of this enormous metallic construct is just open. Is like it depicts a face with this comically oversized jaw, the sort of beard of which forms this plow that seems to funnel at will, can close itself. Everything it comes across into the mouth, this gigantic mouth where you see a blazing, glowing red light, like glowing orange light.
Question.
Yeah?
Is the construction in any way reminiscent of the animated golems that used to stand by Daxos's shop?
No, but the face is unmistakably the face of Porphyros, the Smith god. It starts crawling towards you. Hear brrr, brrr, like these war horns go off.
Might be Dax's surprise.
I mean, if he has just decided to pull off surprise in the middle of a fuck-off army, I mean, hats off to him.
To be fair, he's like a mile away. That
Yeah.
Like it's not like. Okay, so can I get a group persuasion check?
Fucking hell.
Defili's gonna roll as well.
Oh god, oh god.
What was I supposed to do? Send a fucking text?
Oh no, those are so bad. Okay, for Xanthia, that's a 18, and for Hilera,
I was away for a second. What did everyone get?
18 for Xanthia and 16 for Hilera.
Okay.
For Tyson.
Okay.
3 for Scotians.
Yeah.
Jesus, I'm gonna count that as 2 successes. Botch, what did you get?
18 for Botch.
Okay, success. I'm gonna roll for Defili. Is she persuasion? Yes, she is. I will let the audience decide. Bronze die or water die for Defili? Both of the players.
See what they do. I think my attempt to try and persuade the I think I've done. The horn is kind of like everyone's kind of gone off with the horn, so kind of meant to do it. I think I just take the moment and I just try and troll it off and just go.
So Defili rolled a 30.
Okay, all right. I think we're good.
Literally just thaumaturges. Calm down. He's a friend. I just pulled up Iggy Azalea's Wikipedia page. That is all. And as it gets closer, you begin to see that it's not just a glowing light from the inside of the mouth. It is a blazing inferno that reminds you of the actual heart of Mount Velos. Surrounded by rotating teeth. And standing atop of it, grabbing a hold of one of the spikes, full-on Captain Jack Sparrow style, is a familiar color of fire head male half-nymph. This thing just jumps. Flaming wings come out of his back. And he just lands next to you guys. Hey guys, what's up?
Way to make an entrance.
Listen,
Yeah, mad respect.
I think we all know by this point I'm the DM's self-insert in order to excise any repressed feelings of vanity and power trips. So, you knew this was gonna happen.
Daxos, are you just a gigantic penis extension device?
Always have been.
Look at the drag marks behind this thing. It's definitely carrying some form of payload.
Dude, this thing's a tripod. Fucking hell.
Yeah, and oh, you like it? You like it?
Does it turn okay?
It's
Good
not
as carrying
super.
facing us.
Well, it's not super good at pulling out.
Hey,
Clara just starts. Looks at Defili.
This really straight up. Why he's like, shut up.
I remember that meme of like the FBI listening into someone's conversation. They say
Yeah.
something horrible, and then just cut to two people going, "Ah." It's us right now.
And okay, no, actually, part of the reason I built in the forearms is to increase mobility, and to also be able to shovel things towards them more. And yeah, so it's got these like huge back wheels, that almost act like as tank tracks. So that's quite sort of rotational. And just the forearms kind of like basically give it that level of mobility. It's trade speed for that kind of mobility, so it can realign itself and do what it needs to do. And out of character, it may share the... I might have used a Hellfire engine from Descendant to Avernus as the base stat block for this creature.
Nice.
I call it the crematorium. We're fighting the dead after all.
Dope.
I've been a busy bee. You guys inspired me, I just have to say again. Thank you for everything. You notice as well, he's no longer carrying Akmon, the hammer of Borforos.
Oh, we're glad to be of inspiration to you for making that. Yeah,
Mm.
it was good.
Sorry, something you were going to say something?
Where did your hammer go? Do you have a new one, or did you melt that down to make that, or?
If I'd melted down Akmon, I wouldn't be sad. I'd be dead right now. No. That,
Oh, Daddy wanted it back. Okay.
that was always his hammer. It was just on loan to fulfill a very important task. But before I had to give it back. And he then just reaches into this bag of holding and produces a... It's not a piece of divinity. Out of character, it would just be an act of masturbation to give my self-insert NPC a piece of divinity. So, but he does pull out a very nice-looking hammer that... a very nice-looking hammer that seems to have its own filigree and mystique about it. This one looks a lot cleaner, though. Akmon was, it felt like ancient and like rife with history. This one feels like polished and young, as in like it's that kind of like Novo aesthetic. But he like just turns into a light hammer and pops it on his hip. Son of a burning bitch, Jason, is that you?
yeah. This entire time, Jason's kind of just stood there, just arms crossed, looking at him, and it's just like, oh, nice to see you. You're looking well. Your hair's bright as always.
Nice to see you too. I dig the warrior sage aesthetic you've migrated to. And just to be clear, our character, he's being 100% sincere.
Oh yeah, 100%. And he's just like, well, you've certainly outdone yourself in your builds from the smithy that we first met you in. It's impressive work.
Well, I had someone give me a kick up the butt. And he just looks over Tempest in general. But especially Amalia. Guess I finally found a reason to get back up again.
Well, I'm sure that with you on our side, a lot of this will go much easier.
I'm here to do what I can to help, but at the end of the day, This is your moment, Tempest. I'm just grateful you gave me mine. The caravan does slowly start to pick up sticks and move again.
Yeah, sorry, it's all good. Yeah, sorry, it's all good. Just sit down. Nothing to worry about. It's on our side. Yeah, sorry, it's all good. Yeah, it's good.
Now that people like start recognizing Dark Sauce, like the Militian army especially starts spreading the word. It's like, oh, he's cool. It's like, and later on, like Mulpadia especially, you sort of overhear her like, this is fucking brilliant. This is going to shred through the horde. That's what I designed it for. Crowd control. He says the crowd control part with a wicked grin. Oh, and, Illyra. Per that last message, per the other message you sent me, I added the final specifications.
Oh? Okay.
It will, in fact, register any gold it devours. Let's melt that down and mint coins.
That is so cool.
Illyra mentioned, the deal you struck with Reginia.
I just double checked to see whether or not that part of the conversation, who heard that part of the conversation, like outside of our group, just in case that feeds back down to him.
Him?
Well, I already forgotten his name, but
Lord Barros.
Yeah, Lord Barros.
You're surrounded by Militian hoplites, and honestly, no one's listening that close. There's this roaring machine nearby, and
Fine.
Yeah.
right, shall we? And there's a moment's pause as like basically Daxos has a quick chat with Molpadi and things like that, and certain offers are made, and basically they give certain beasts of burden a break and lash like certain carts and things like literally to this machine because it's like it's here, it's good to go, and may as well make use of it. And it joins the caravan, just these like forearms. So the best way I can describe this thing is like this. Yeah, it's this gastropodic bronze thing with like these back like tank-like wheels. The forearms remind, bit of a niche reference, but like a Chaos Defiler from Warhammer. If anyone knows what one of those looks like. These sort of like claw-like forearms with these armored fronts.
What was that called? Sorry,
A Chaos Defiler?
Don't recognize that. I will do a quick check.
Look it up, like everyone at home. A little bit of homework. But it just crawls along, and the rest of the day's travel is uneventful. And you make camp all within the mountains. Several large flat plateaus have to be found, but arrangements are made. And
if we are like, if it's a flat plateau, I'll double check with Molpadir in terms of whether, because I'm getting the impression that Molpadir is probably the best person that's kind of leading like key tactical decisions.
Yeah.
I kind of asked her as a, would you benefit from a vantage point?
We have several scouts, but never going to say no to more.
And I will burn my 8th level slots, and I will pluck the piece of the Scholar Veil that I still have tousled in my hair, realising it takes a bit longer because it's actually got stuck in the matted fur, but I can eventually kind of pull it out. And over the course of 10 minutes, I will cast Golder's Tower at 8th level, which will give us a 7-story structure.
Jason, you watch as this enormous edifice of root and vine is erected out of the ground.
The door is increased in size, so I know that it will fit a centaur.
He gives you a smile and like an acknowledgement nod of just good times. Always accommodating for the horseman.
And well, problem is, I don't know how easily you'd be able to get through the rest. And as you go inside, you see they're like 10-foot by 10-foot square rooms, but each floor is connected by a step ladder. And I kind of walk and go, yeah, I figured that you weren't going to be able to. It's not best designed for climbing up there, but the room that you enter is already kind of like a bedroom set up with a fireplace and a bed that's designed for your sizes. And basically I'm going to give a decent bed to all of Tempest, because I think I can do with I have plenty of those, and then I will add a washroom, and then an observatory on the top for the scouts who want to watch from the top.
Perfect. And several sentries, including Galatea, are stationed. A small favor to you. Does anyone have anything specific they wish to do?
Nope.
I was probably going to take a watch with Galatea and try to actually stay on task, maybe unsuccessfully, but other than that, no.
Don't worry, she stays on task. Xanthi, is there anything you wish to do?
No, I think just like hang out with the rest of the party after dinner, just drinking a little bit, maybe just playing some friendly games, to keep the spirits up and not think about what might happen tomorrow.
Okay. We'll start with you then, Scotty. You're taking a watch with Galatea. You okay? Twerp.
I kind of look up from where Galatea's kind of taken the watchman's place. I've kind of just like settled with my alchemy supplies, kind of just on the floor, as she's walked as well. And there's like I created like a tiny window that I can kind of look out without having to move, and it's not the most effective. And I'm just kind of putting like trying to like basically just going through all the notes that I had from Penelope. And I can't go. Better now. I'm not really sure how this whole war thing works, and all I know from stories is that it's really a numbers game. And some numbers will come back, some won't. And I guess that number's worrying on me a little bit. But I like our chances, especially with I kind of like peek out and I could kind of just see the side of part of the construct from Naxos to go. Especially with whatever that is.
Numbers can be deceiving. Who wins? 1 hoplite or 10 peasants?
I mean, we're not all hoplites, and I kind of like get up and I turn and instead I'm kind of looking away on an out-facing window. I'm kind of just looking at. I'm guessing we're kind of like, are we kind of set up in like a convoy, or are we kind of now set up sort of like a military like?
Think the Rohan encampment in Return of the King.
Got you. And I kind of look towards the outskirts, probably towards the forest line, and I kind of spot what I presume to be the encampments for those that have come from the Scola Vale. And then I look at some of the other sort of like smaller, scraggier camps that have kind of spotted around this enormous, the one like not really paying much of an attention to sort of like the big military setups, just all the smaller ones, and go. I'm just hoping that we spend our currency wisely, I guess. Turns around, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. You're right. We're not all hoplites. Some of us are figures of legend, and she points out, make a perception check.
$18?
You spot a set of raven black hair and a purple outfit that you know belongs to Liliana, the powerful necromancer who belongs to the Planeswalkers. Some of us are figures of legend. Some of us are powerful war machines. Some of us are maguses of renown. She just points to some of the those from the Decathia, or like Miletian, basically war mages that are basically practicing the training ahead of time, and they're like almost like going through firebending techniques. And like a sheet of flames like just erupts from their hands, followed by like a massive ball of frost that like. And sure, some of us have kinship with rage itself. And she just points to what I would assume would be basically, if you'll permit it, but feel free to walk it back on my behalf, Ali, Botch in the middle of like sparring / wrestling with like the Minotaurs.
Who's winning?
It's like that moment where like Android 17 versus Piccolo, where they're just like basically it's dead straight. Although to be fair to Botch, this thing is 3 times bigger than him, and he's basically at a standstill with it. And sure, some of us aren't those things. But those some of us are still people who live in this world and want to keep living in this world and want those they care about to keep living in this world and have just as much fury and will to fight. The dead have one thing we do not.
Something to live for?
Exactly.
I will...
Sorry, quickly walk it back. We have one thing the dead do not. But you know what I meant.
Yeah. I distract her briefly from a watch for a kiss, and then I let her get... I kind of like move away, and I get back to just kind of sitting like... just enjoying the quiet, just quietly being in her presence as I just kind of, as Casillas kind of allows his nerves to slowly settle.
She says, well, she literally looks up, and then she does like, I suppose, like almost bird-like whistle. And then, like you hear like faint footsteps running up the tower. And then another daughter of Nelia. You called, sister. And Galatea says, take over. I'm dying tomorrow, I'm milking tonight. And she literally just grabs you by the scruff of your chest and then just... Your compliance is almost secondary.
That's it. And you just see the just sort of the door shut and just noises as it kind of fades away. Cool.
All right. Xanthia.
Yes.
As it gets a bit later, you hear a knock at your door.
Come in.
Hi.
Oh, hi.
Am I disturbing?
Nah, come in.
How goes? What's it been, a month? More?
Yeah, it's really been a while. Also, can't say that enough, but you really outdid yourself with the trident. I think even more power came to it fairly recently.
Thank you. He looked like for a second he was going to try and say something like faux cocky or like false bravado, but he just says, thank you. It means a lot.
Yeah.
I rediscovered what creative passion feels like, and I owe that to you guys.
You can find inspiration in the oddest of places and the strangest group of people, I think.
I agree. Everyone deserves a chance to show you that they can be something beautiful. Thank you for giving me mine.
Of course.
And thank you for bringing another to me.
Mm-hmm.
Had a interesting conversation this evening.
So I take it you spoke to Defili?
I did.
How are you feeling about that?
I feel like I'm gonna set the walls on fire for the army of the dead. Because I've gotta come home.
That's the spirit.
And almost at the same time as Galatea, he says the words in part of a larger sentence. I got something to live for. Or Scutina, sorry.
Mm. Yeah.
Will you walk with me?
Of course.
Thank you. He leads you.
Mm-hmm.
His setup is not that far from the tower. A short walk. And similarly to before, he pulls a key out from his sash, unlocks the air, and opens up his magnificent mansion.
Mm.
There's a magic item here.
Face.
I thought you might. I
mean,
thought I might enlist your aid.
okay. With what?
I'll show you. And he steps into the space, and it's exactly how you saw it before. The basic setup. You see the well, actually, so where there was a statue of Purphoros, you see the statue of and I'll say ahead of time, non-familiar or like nondescript maiden who's holding an amphora, just like it's a fountain at the same time, which is the center of this wide space, and then all the rooms span the core. Like the rest of the layout is the same. It's like a Parthenon setup with a rounded section at the end, and there's rooms throughout, or like doors to other rooms throughout. But the statue has changed. And he leads you down the stairs to where you know the forge is below. And you see Ophelia sat there as like the roar of the forge goes. Oh, hi.
Hi.
I need to walk something slightly back. He, if you're okay with it, tomorrow would have stopped to pick up Heliera as well.
Sure.
And Heliera is with you. Oh, hi. Glad you two weren't busy. It's my turn to make you blush, you little witch, you, she points this to Heliera.
I don't know what you mean.
You fucking liar. I'm, doing some last-minute stuff for tomorrow.
Oh, I'm back in Theros again.
Yeah. You want to help?
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
And he asked you to pass some tools, and he asked if he needed a bit. Daxos is the only one who's actually proficient in Smith's tools here, so most of you guys are just handing him shit, but he's involves you guys in as much of the process as he can.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked, Xanthia, you're the strong one, to help sort of work the bellows. Helida runs and fetch things. Defili also, mops his brow, also hands him other things. And he sort of prepares these... he finishes, preparing these very fine shield. Got plans for that. And he just puts it to one side. And finishes enchanting something else. And it's a longer process. Xanthia, I'm gonna say roll a straight charisma check.
Okay. Oh god. Which dice haven't failed so far? Oh, that's pretty good. That would be a 21.
Damn. Xanthia, I'm going to say you can take a +5 to your piety and put it in that separate column.
Okay, cool.
So, Xanthia, I believe that puts you.
You're playing the field.
I think she's in the uniquest position to actually be able to multi-piety.
You're doing what Jason could not.
So that brings
To
my
be fair, Jason's two gods don't have a love child together.
This is true.
So I will say you can unlock the pious.
to 6.
You can unlock the piety 3 purphoros traits as well. But I will say you can, as part of a wider effort that may extend into campaign 2, rather than locking it into the stat that it's associated with it, you can, similar to the feats, like the Strixhaven feats, you can choose intelligence, wisdom, or charisma as your spellcasting ability for the stuff you unlock.
That's cool.
And I'm going to try, just going forward and to get more into campaign 2, but just in general, make piety more class neutral, because I think that is a bit better overall.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about that, and as you sort of you and Hilira spend a couple hours. Thank you. It's been nice to just hang again.
It's good to have you back.
It's good to be back. He also looks at Defili when he says this.
Also, Dark Sauce, like a while ago. Hold on, can we step to the side real quick? Okay, just give me in real life a second because I need to go through my notes to a few months back, real quick. Where is it? So anyway, can't find it. So when we went to the Siren Sea to fight the blue dragon that, kind of killed my entire family, we found very peculiar island with a lot of slaves on there who've been living under the rule of the dragon. And we met a bard. He was very, very nice, very helpful. And kind of reminded us of you.
In what way?
General, your rugged charm. Also, he mentioned a past lover who kind of matches the description you gave of your mother.
Say psych right now.
Yeah.
You. Where is he?
He's great. He's all right.
Where is he?
So we couldn't take him back with us when we left, but Delisa stayed behind, and he organized that all of the slaves would get 2 melodies and 2 safety afterwards with help of an organization that she's familiar with. And yeah, what's his name?
Aster.
Aster, I think.
Strong name.
Yeah. I just wanted you to know. I mean, this day's been crazy enough for you already, so might just expand your family even more.
You're right. He literally just grabs you by the shoulders and just plants a kiss on your forehead. Thank you. Well, now I've got every reason in the world to make it through tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for every gift you've given me. And at this point, he leads you back to the main group, and he says his last part as he puts his hand on Defili's shoulder. And it's wonderful to see that what you two have given me, you've found in each other.
Yeah. Yeah, coming to that godforsaken island really had some good things about it, at least.
That's the lesson, isn't it? From even pain.
Yeah.
Something new. Something good.
Yeah.
Find the change. Find the good in change.
Yeah. Well, like you engraved into Atmos, onto the anvil, right?
Into the anvil. I assume you would have set it aside at this point.
Mm-hmm.
He goes and picks it up, admires it. I do good work sometimes.
Oh, come on. All of the times.
Yeah, but I just sound like a dick when I say it. He goes to set it down and sets it down on the anvil. Can I confide something into you?
Of course.
I lied. He fishes out of his bag of holding a familiar ancient maul. Akmon, the Hammer of Boroughbound, resting on his shoulders. He let me keep it a moment longer. Said there was one last thing I had to do with it.
That will come.
Defili reaches into her clavicle, in her bosom, and pulls out a small glass vial that's wrapped around a cord. My mother didn't leave me with much, but my father always told me that when she left me with him and drifted back into the sea, she shed a single tear. Her lost daughter. He kept that tear and he left it to me. And she holds up the vial and you see a single drop of water with it. Don't know why I kept it. Never been much one for sentiment, but I'm glad I did. Like you said, Xanthia. Onto the anvil. He uncorks it. And she tips the vial. Just as you see the single drop fall and bing! Cascade. And on Atmos. Daxa says, "Under the anvil." Like raises his hammer over his head and a reverberating ring rings out as seeing as he seems to like basically nail this drop of water into the trident. And it just as it's basically spreads throughout, and it scatters into a million little veins of starlight that run throughout the trident before being absorbed into it, and it extends an extra foot in length, and small serrations develop along the inside of the side trident prongs, and a pattern of orange and cyan glyphs extends along the haft. As Atmos, trident of the burning tides, exalts.
Oh, hell yeah!
So that thing is now almost twice as big as Xanthia. Okay, let me go on D&D Beyond and look that up.
It should be available. Let me double check. Oh god, how far back do I have? Okay, this is just
Getting
my...
so kitted, y'all. This is literally
You should
like
be nervous.
armor and health and shield before like the closed room in the next day.
Like, where'd the music go? Oh, there it is. That's all.
Very much
Base.
auto save in the top right hand corner.
This action will have consequences.
Okay, no, I've added it to collection now, so you might have to refresh a few times, but it's there.
Okay, let's see when my crappy internet will meant to load.
Yes, as he, for flavor, whilst you're waiting for your internet to load, he then picks it up. Can't leave a job unfinished.
Wow, okay, that looks like you really outdid yourself once more.
And now, as if right on cue, he says, almost serendipitously, he watches Akmon, just turns into like the sparks from like a fire and vanishes.
No. Good enough to let you keep it until we fought the army of the dead.
I don't need it.
Okay.
I've always built my way through my problems. This is no different. Because building's what I do.
You best.
That was my trial. And that was my gift. If I were to keep the hammer, it would only be to my eye an affirmation that I could never run from my destiny. He says destiny with like air quotes. And that was the one thing I never wanted. All I ever wanted was to decide my fate on my terms. You let me do that in the mountain. And Porphyros gave me the same gift now. I chose this. And that's all I ever wanted.
Xanthia will pull Daxus in for a big hug at this point.
He holds you close.
Thank you again for everything. And also, you're doing amazing.
Thank you. You're the only one I believe when they say that.
Not even Tequila.
She doesn't say that. It's true, I don't.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
I'm not gonna change who I am. And I wouldn't expect you to. Lupita also says. I'm not good with sappy stuff, but she like playfully punches you on the shoulder. Thanks.
Yeah. For what?
Right.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. You too. Also joining us in the fight against the stupid snake cultists.
No. Well, I do love a good fight, despite my glorious appearance. What's an excuse to... What's an occasion where you chip your nails, if not an excuse to paint them pretty all over again? And they hold hands. And Ifili says to both of you, right, thank you. Now go rest. You have a big day tomorrow.
Will we see you there?
Count on it. Count on it.
You also get some rest. Sleeping, I mean, yeah, please.
No promises.
Alright. Well, we'll see you then.
Good night, Xanthia. Good night, Xanthia. Good night, Hilera. Good night, Hilera.
Good night. You two lovebirds.
What? Oh, sorry. And you excuse yourself back to the tower. And bring your evening to a close. What is Botch doing right now?
Within the army, is there any kind of general revelry going on? Any kind of friendly competition or friendly wages on just like general games or tests of strength, that kind of thing?
Oh yeah, 100%. Less so the Militians. They're like playing chess and stuff like that, which they consider to be a test of strength. But that's why you basically find the Minotaurs. And okay, to be fair, the fuck, I'm drawing a blank. 1 second. The hell did I name that population? Delathon. The Delathon soldiers. They're basically like, as you know, Delathon's a big old city. Out of character, it's modeled off Argolis from Greece. So they're not Acroans, but they are certainly not Militians either. They're like a rowdy bunch of fighters themselves. Salt of the earth. They come from an largely agrarian society. So Damocles, the figure from legend, was Delathonian. But yeah, there's also definitely a bunch of Minotaurs who seem friendlier than the ones you've fought in Mortal Kombat before.
Very well. So I would like to spend just a little bit of time cavorting with other warriors and engaging in any kind of rough and tumble kind of activities, just blowing off steam, that kind of thing.
All right, and I will ask, Jason, have you risen above it all, or are you not so enlightened that you're beyond cavorting?
It is, she could go south tomorrow, so he'll probably be watching. To be honest, he probably would have like a bit of a catch up with Amalia and kind of chat to her about like, are your tactics still like this? How do you fight it? Like, it would be like a chat.
I still do the slash, and then I do more slash.
Okay.
And more slash.
Okay, so we're not doing it. So I guess if it's not broken,
it hasn't failed me yet.
if it's not broken, I guess it doesn't need fixing. But yeah, and then I'll probably look over and see See botch. I think Jason's probably always has an eye on botch, if that makes sense. Or at least some kind of awareness of it, in just the sense of, obviously he's impossible to miss, probably in the crowd. But it's more in the case of I would say it's probably like an innate thing of always keeping your eye on the toughest guy in the room in terms of like his history as a past cage fighter, not cage fighter. It's just that thing of like innately ingrained in you. It's hard to get out of it. It's kind of just keeping an eye on the toughest guy in the room. And my passive perception is 25, so I'm pretty sure I know where he is all the time. I'm pretty sure that I'm aware that he's being played by a person in the real world with a fucking passive of 25.
You know what I had for breakfast 2 years ago? I was 25.
Yeah, I'll say, Botch, make one athletics check with advantage if you would like to expend any uses of your rage whilst you are cavorting.
Oh, I have unlimited. I do not have unlimited rage, but what I do have is a. I'm going to use a rage, and that's a 29.
I'm going to ask as well. Roll on your wild magic table as part of the rage.
Ooh. Do I get the other benefit of my experience by being able to roll 2 and then choose which one?
Treat it as if you were in combat.
Oh yeah, dude. Okay, good. We're gonna go with the teleportation effect.
And you watch as the seemingly all but his legendary weapons are human man. All of a sudden, like out of character, like a nuclear reactor. Or this multicolored light like emits out of him as he like engages in this wrestling with this minotaur, and he then like disappears and reappears behind this minotaur, grabs it by its ankles, and does like a full-on suplex. Shut up, Siri. And you see that side of him, Jason. And the minotaur basically gets up, cracks his, like, everyone hears him realign the vertebrae. That hurt like hell. That was awesome. And he literally just, you're all right, Pipsqueak. And he just heads, like a friendly headbutt, which anyone else would have had suffered a concussion from. The other mentors are like, one of us, one of us. Gobble, gobble, one of us.
Nice. And I'm there just reveling in the masculinity of warriors getting ready for combat who just enjoy a good fight. It's not complicated. It's not messy. It's just good, clean fun.
It's a funny thing. Something as alien and all-consuming as the undead itself is remarkably effective at bringing people together. And minotaurs, centaurs, tritons, all that's cast aside. It is just warriors. It is just people with lives to live. Sorry, go ahead, Alex.
I was going to say, with that, I think seeing this, something would spark up in Dyson, and he would probably take off the bracer, he would take off the plate, and he would like walk next to Bot and basically just be like, I want to see how we do tomorrow. For now, and he does the same thing again with just like cracking, and effectively he'll want to do like a fight side by side with you, and he'll probably stay out in Minotaur, like he'll make like a bet of just like first person who can bring either of us to a knee, like gets, I don't know, like gets a free steak or a free drink or something.
Free steak.
You promise? You promise? He looks at, like, Ulpadia, who was just standing there, like, eating her, like, minestrones, like, she looks at you, Jason, like, really? Yes, yes. Jesus, just let me eat my piece. Fuck. All right, you're on.
And yeah, I'll basically like spar. So originally I was gonna try and spar with Amalia or Botch, but I think fighting side by side with Botch is like let's practice some ideas tomorrow, or some kind of like curveball, fastball special, Colossus Wolverine type shit.
Like, wait a minute, I really want that steak. Pinky! You're up. As like, just basically like stirring from this like rawhide tent is a like 15 feet tall, like completely hairless, like it's like one of those Sphinx cats, but it's a bull. Like this hairless minotaur that's just all muscle and sinew. It's like Madagascar 2 when Tsetse finally stands up.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll call for Amalia to join.
Yeah.
Oh, she totally joins in.
Yeah, like just like immediately, I'll just like call her over. But I'll do the same. I'll do the same dad thing of just being like, oh no, we're following a few rules. Just like no armor, no weapons, don't slash. Like you can claw, sure, but don't slash. Put down the thing. Like I'm basically giving her the one off of just being like, no, we're just sparring right now. Don't go crazy.
That's her excitement kind of drops down, and it'll be like, oh.
Pinky hears that. Pinky hears that, and with a surprising amount of Aaron Graces, and then like picks up these like rubber cylindrical things that may have been used, like these corks that you may have used to seal barrels. Puts one on one horn, puts one on the other horn.
Make sure they're locked safe.
Yeah, just like Justin does like a knowing clap. Is just like you're cool.
And then this like gargantuan minotaur speaks. We're doing this.
Yeah, like in Minotaur, I'd be like, oh, like I talked to one of the other Minotaurs, being like, oh, that is. I understand. He doesn't speak much. It's just for show.
No, he could speak fine, but that's his voice. He was born different, but after he tore a Hydra in half, people stopped making fun of him.
That would do it.
All right. I'm not going to make you roll for it, but I will say it takes all three of you. I'm going to say, if it's all right with everyone, that it ends at a standstill.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll allow it.
I would say that like probably sweating, bruised, like drips, sore and stuff. I would probably get whatever like water is near and like share it amongst all of the sparers in a very like live free moment.
Yeah,
and share battle tales, talk about scars, all that stuff.
And many a glorious tale is shed. I'll throw it out to the both of you, Jason and Botch. With knowing your character backstories, would you like to concoct a tale that you might share during this, or leave it up in the air?
I will tell the tale of the time I ripped a chimera's flesh off of its body whilst it was still breathing to showcase the armor and the hide that I've currently got at the moment.
I think he's like, that is badass.
No, don't laugh.
Oh, no, I'm not laughing, you're laughing. No, oh, nothing funny here.
It's cool. My therapist taught me about radical acceptance, and I've decided that I am enough. And despite what the humor others may find in my demeanor, it doesn't change who I am. And I can find strength from within. And so I can show irreverence and laugh at my situation. And it only makes me stronger. So, it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fucking curveball for you guys.
Above table.
Gripping.
Yay! Fair enough, yeah. But apart from that, I think I'm good for the evening.
Very well.
I would say, just out of curiosity, would any of the Minotaur, Satyrs, or Centaurs that are here, would any of them, would I either recognize or acknowledge any of them that may have potentially been in the similar pits? Not at the same time as me, but just in terms of how long those pits were running for.
Perception check.
Ooh, okay. Okay. 27.
You see a fair few faces. You recognize certain scars of bands and iron and the such.
Yeah, like markings and stuff like that, if any of them have it, yeah.
And they see the same in you, and they share that acknowledgement.
Yeah, it wouldn't even be like a conversation. It would just be like a look and then a cheers of whatever drink we're having. And then, yeah, I'd probably share probably share a tale of like my weirdest venture when I first started out with Tempest, and I will talk about them as like the group. And basically, we'll converse. Dyson will probably make it sound more epic, but the concept of like someone diving into scalding water, but like making it be way more epic, like like they thought like that by going like deep down in scalding water to unplug something or whatever, other than just the accident of, oh, I'm going to dive into this water, not realizing it's.
Yeah, I got that. Out of board, I don't know that I could have telegraphed more how much steam was coming off that pool, but I guess
Worth it.
It was, yeah. And yeah, it would be kind of that tale. And then I'd also talk about like fallen allies and kind of how I think Jason would probably have a little bit of a wiser moment with everyone where he talks about battle scars, what it's for, and then also the concept of if you're just fighting for the sake of fighting, it can get boring very quickly, or you can lose steam very quickly. Whereas if you have something to fight for, kind of talking about the army and who we are, what we're doing, what the plan is, and it's that kind of mentality of just honing in the concept of if it's for a reason, it doesn't matter how hard you fight, you're already fighting at your peak. You're giving everything you've got.
You hear one figure pipe up. Interesting. I've never heard it put that way before. You see a sort of like tawny brown minotaur that's riddled with scars, and seems to be brandishing a large axe, but also wearing this like sort of shrouded, tattered mantle that hangs off his shoulders. Where'd you learn all that?
Ironically, I was stepping away from the battlefield, having time to reflect on things and not be actively fighting. To value the fight even more on occasion. I would probably say that Jason is actually, in terms of the people around me, is anyone wearing anything of either Mogus or Atheros? Atheros? Was it Atheros? Yeah. Like, is anyone wearing like any symbols?
The figure in front of you, the tattered cloak, has a clasp that is shaped like the ferryman's coins.
I kind of just like very briefly talk about probably not wise enough or intelligent enough to talk about piety and gods in terms of, in terms of like my switch, but the concept of the small switch, but then also how stepping away from something that I was so used to made it easier to find the reason to continue to do it, as opposed to feeling like I had to.
I'll have to give that some thought. Thank you. What's your name?
My name is Jason. Hopefully, after this is over, we can discuss it more together as brothers.
I'll just hand out to you.
Keonor.
Big old handshake.
Pardon my indulgence.
No, I like it.
For those of you taking notes, Keonor was Jason's brief character. God, I still remember that Kraken fight and how much Scotty just, like, fucked that up royally. No,
That's what he does, yeah. Nothing's changed.
Keonor.
Scotty's plans are like Scotty planning is like rolling a d20, except the d20 has two sides, a 1 and a 20. They're either...
Mate, I roll high variant dice.
Yeah.
That's it. That's my life, is high variant dice.
They're more like guidelines, anyway.
But overall, with a lingering feeling of potential finality in the air, everyone decides to wring every last drop of life out of tonight. And everyone goes to bed knowing whatever comes tomorrow, today was great. And I will say that is where we'll end tonight's session, partly because I'm exhausted, also partly because a couple people are in absentia, and I do want at least one heartfelt moment with Amalia and Jason, and like everybody in Jason really, right before shit hits the fan. It's not really a spoiler, you guys know what you're like charging into. So yeah, with one more day of travel, we will pick up next week for the next episode with Alex staying on for the time being. And after that, we do have a 2-week break because myself and Violet will be on holiday, taking her to Sardinia for the first time. But that aside, we'll then pick up straight after that with all that is to come beyond. Thank you so much to everybody who joined us this evening. Thank you so much to Pixelated Bunny and the Lurk from Distel's Place. Distel's Place are an awesome D&D channel. Do check them out. If they're online, we might do a raid when this is done and dusted. And thank you, Virla. We hope you feel better soon. We love you very much. And I hope you can meet Jason next session, because I think they would like each other. And thank you to Kayla, Moira Ravensight for your comment. We do so appreciate it. And I do so appreciate my players and how far they come. And if I may say, like Jason, the proud dad to all he sees before him, I, Romeo the DM, feel very much the proud dad to all I see before me. And I hope that's, without getting too sappy, that's all I want to say. So to kick things off, the guest of honor, Alex, would you like to tell these fine folks about yourself and where they can find you?
Sure. I have recently started a separate TikTok for my voice acting work. So if anyone wants to find me, they can follow me at XanderLeeVA on TikTok. I do mostly villain stuff there because, let's be real, it's more fun. Yeah. It's just fun, yeah. Like
you need to compensate for Jason, basically.
Jason's like actually the most nice character. Everyone else is just like, I'm going to destroy you.
It's such a dichotomy. Because I remember Ree saying that she's so used to doing good characters that she wanted to do an evil character when she created Dipili, and you see it, you're so used to doing good.
That episode is really hard because I was like, Alex wants to do this because Alex is insane. But Jason won't because Jason wants to do this.
The downside to being the restrained one in the party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah.
You can find me there. It's recently just started, so it's still in its infancy. But by all means, if anyone's interested and has enjoyed the sound of my voice, then you would hear more of it there.
I certainly shalteth. And getting swiftly to my left, Moss. He does not have social media, but he has messages.
I do. I always have great messages. It's always the same message. I'll try and mix it up. But as always, the reason why our games are so awesome is because I'm here. Only joking, because we're all here. But really, what makes all these amazing campaigns that Romeo and other great DMs do is not just the standard OGL, as it were, but that third-party content that really makes really kicks things up a notch. So the best way to support that ongoing creativity with the entire community, if you see someone that you really like what they're doing, first thing first, see if you can incorporate it into your game. We've done that a lot with our one as well. And if they have a Ko-fi, a Patreon, or whatever, throw them a few bucks, dollars, whatever currency you have to hand in your pocket, as that will help inspire them to continue to create the awesome stuff that we get to take advantage of in our games. And that's all from me.
Fantastic. Tamara, would you like to big yourself up in any and all ways?
Yeah. But to change things up, I'm also going to start it with a little message, just tying into Morse's message. As you can also support other kinds of like small independent creators, like on Etsy. Like if you like my earrings, I got them from Etsy from a very nice store called Bestie Vibes Only. They're located in Spain. They're super, super nice. Also, yeah, small independent creators. They exist everywhere. You should support them.
So
Absolutely. Do I have any creations? I do.
Like every time I go to a comic festival, it's
purchased this month from Etsy for a party from a fantastic creator in Ukraine.
I've seen that before.
Fantastic creator out of Ukraine who is also raising money for the effort in Ukraine. Super awesome, super talented, super spooky. Although I do recommend like a little bit of black paint around the nose, just so it's not like meh. One drawback.
Yeah, but if you want to follow me somewhere on social media, most places you can find me at Mar_United, even on the platform that has now been renamed to X.
Yeah, it's a really awkward thing when I type that into my web browser. It's always like a gamble now.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna say it. I am 100% Team Threads now.
It's not out in the.
It's not there yet.
So.
Thank you,
yeah.
Brexit. God, I felt dirty saying that.
And yeah, like I said, most cases on the internet, Mar_United, except for Instagram, where you can find me at it's Mar_United. That's me.
And rounding things off, Ali, take it away.
Who's here? My name is Ali. You can find me on Instagram under @AngelUndies. I do dungeon mastering. I do D&D. I do cosplay. I do commissions for cosplay and D&D. I'm about to start printing Morse a yellow stormtrooper helmet, which is going to be fun as hell. I am 3D printing currently 30 minis for a children's birthday party D&D session, which
awesome.
Someone has asked me to make for them. So girl power with lots of lizard folk druids. Why not? So yeah, if you want anything made, just hit me up under @AngelUndies on Instagram. I promise, if you come from DC30, I'll give you a discount. Why not?
Can I ask, were the lizard folk druids because the kids asked how to be a dinosaur in the game and then like that was the best way?
Listen, all I know is that some little girls want to be cats, some little girls want to be dinosaurs, and the only way to accommodate them all is to give everyone the same starting species and then let them all be druids. So
clever, genuinely.
Yeah.
And for those in absentia, you can find Violet at Violet_Riddle_ on Instagram for all her Instagram and cosplay content. And keeping it brief because I don't have the whole thing memorized, you can find Virla at virla.louisa on Instagram for all her Instagram and modeling content. And I'm sure you can find the rest of her content through that Instagram. Virla, I'm sorry, I've had about 3 hours sleep and I've been working for...
Like, Okay. Most Saturdays over on Roll Positive Game and with the Strixhaven game. Sundays here, except for the third Sunday of the month, where it's Bridges and Brigands.
Where she plays Belvedere, a bird with a gun.
And Strixhaven, she plays Ilithia, an ash elf with amnesia.
Awesome,
She said-
awesome.
Also, she thinks, at least.
Yeah, maybe. Eventually.
It's gonna turn out that she's like, I don't know, an SMR with a mescaline problem or something. No. We love you, Vila. We miss you. I hope to see you soon. And yes, do check out all that stuff. And as for me, you can find me for all my cosplay content on Electrum_cosplay. I have a 3D printer of my own now. Well, it's on loan from Togdom on Instagram. You can check his stuff as well. He basically, and I quote, said, Romeo, you're way geekier than I am. You're going to get more out of this 3D printer for the both of us. And he's kind of right. So what I'm currently working on is, so the original file is meant to be Alucard's sword from Castlevania. I'm still putting it together. But I might end up using it to create I think it can work as a serviceable template for Mythcarver from Critical Role, so I'm still deciding what I'm going to turn it into. Who knows, maybe I'll sell it, maybe I'll use it for something, maybe I'll use it as a giveaway for like and follow and refer a friend to DC30, who knows.
Like it.
That could be an idea. For all my cosplay content, you can find all of the show's socials, including on Threads now at DC30 Official, on all platforms. And if you like this content and you want to see more of it, and you want all the little bits and bobs and behind the scenes, you can join our Discord. I will put a fresh link. I still haven't updated the the Twitch bot. Let's go general chat, invite people. Copy link. And post that in the chat. You can join our Discord where you get all sorts of goodies, including sharing memes and fun and chatting with the cast. All the tokens I create, I freely release after the fact for your personal use. Elements include Thraxes, the Great Worm, Golor, the Dragon Turtle, which I believe had a final length pixel count of 4,500 pixels wide.
It's a load.
Everything takes forever to load because your internet router is a Lay's salt and vinegar crisps packet with 2 copper wires sticking out of it.
Brass, actually.
Okay, but that's worse. You do get how that's worse. Right? Sorry, I just wanted to quote that line from The Good Place. Yeah, so all of those tokens, tips and tricks on how to flavor your campaign for an ancient Greek setting. I'm going to start posting more content on that, like the backstories for the different city-states that I've started to release, and stuff for what I'm, what I've decided I might just call as a wider concept, archaic. Because it's not just going to include my version of Theros, it may include a version of Egypt, and I want to build this out. I'm working on legally safe names so I can create a backwards compatible version of everything that can be used for Theros, but can also be its own thing. Theros may be renamed to Cyrene in the second campaign. Still working on the details, but archaic as a whole is a concept. I'm going to be posting more of that stuff going forward. Watch the space, join the Discord for more of everything to do with archaic, ancient Greek themed D&D, which I'm choosing to make my thing. More than it already was. I want to be that guy. I'm going to try to be that guy for you. And unless I've missed anything, I believe that brings us to the end of the evening. Thank you so much to everybody. This session was, after a long day, for more than one reason, a real light in my heart and a just highlight of this campaign. So thank you so much. And thank you so much to the players out there. We hope you know that you are loved, and we feel the love. And we will wish you a wonderful evening. We are DC30.